The Sugar Show is finally here because Aljamain Sterling just got KO'd in the second round. And guys, I'm just gonna be honest about how I feel about this fight. I'm really pissed off. Like, I didn't want that to happen. I wanted Aljamain Sterling to go out there and dominate Sean O'Malley and just get his hand raised overall. All right, we're going to get into the fight. We all understand O'Malley countered Aljamain Sterling, lunging forward like a fool with a beautiful right hand. And that right hand of Sean O'Malley is the kiss of death. Credit to O'Malley. Beautiful performance. I don't have to be rooting for him, okay? I'm not a big fan of Sean O'Malley. I just can't take him serious at the end of the day. I can take his skills serious. I just don't like the guy. So you don't have to be fucking over the moon because O'Malley got it done. It is what it is, bro. Shout out to him and his team. Apparently he hasn't grappled for like 6 weeks straight, and Aljamain Sterling still can't, for whatever reason, get his fucking takedown. You know what I mean? But listen. The reason why Aljamain Sterling had a much harder time closing the distance on O'Malley as opposed to Petr Yan, because a lot of people are going to be saying, well, Petr Yan got him down easily, and Petr Yan's not the same grappler. Petr Yan's a master of sport and boxing. Petr Yan can see things coming on the feet a whole lot better than Aljamain Sterling. He's much more aware of striking range and distance and how to defend himself, how to slip shots than Aljamain Sterling. So for him closing the distance, he also has a threat of power of his own. He also is an amazing striker, and O'Malley's got to worry about the heat coming back in his direction. And at the end of the day, Aljo had absolutely nothing for O'Malley to worry about on the feet. Aljo has these little pillow hands when he doesn't have the reach advantage, and he doesn't have an early takedown in a fight to make his opponents fear the grappling and fear the strength. And there was nothing going for Aljo on the feet. And Aljamain Sterling, for whatever reason, just couldn't for the life of him get a body lock. And it took him forever to shoot a takedown in the first round. He didn't shoot a takedown until, I think, 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the first round. He looked like he was tentative. He was fighting scared. And O'Malley had a beautiful game plan to just keep the fight in the middle of the cage. Keep it in the middle of the octagon. Life or death. Do not put your back against the cage. He did that well. He only got pushed up against the cage twice in this fight. The second time was in the second round. O'Malley slipped after he threw a kick. And I was thinking to myself, finally, Aljo's got him right where he needs him, on the ropes. And Aljo goes for a single leg. And I feel like he kind of overcommitted to it. He didn't try to slow things down in the clinch. He was going for the single leg. And O'Malley shakes his way out. And 10 seconds later, Aljo gets rocked. And I'll show you guys my reaction on a single leg. Fuck, man. O'Malley stuffed that takedown. Oh! O'Malley cracked Aljo. He cracked him. Aljo's alive. Aljo's about to get finished. Fuck, man. God damn it. Damn. Got him out of there. Second round. No success. Takedown stuff. And as I said in the buildup, a rocked Aljamain Sterling. That ain't a pretty sight. And with a guy that has the shot selection of Sean O'Malley, you don't want to be hurt in front of him. If you're hurt in front of Sean O'Malley, you're as good as done, and that's exactly what happened. I know Merab Dvalishvili's out here complaining about the stoppage, but at this point, dude, hop off of Aljo's meat, dude. Like, it was a great stoppage, all right? Maybe even a little bit of a late stoppage, but it was definitely not an early one. It's just like, damn, dude, you just took out a nightmare matchup. Shout out to Sean O'Malley for taking out a nightmare matchup. That was beautiful work. Stuff the takedowns from Aljamain Sterling. Apparently, he hasn't been training any grappling for the last 6 weeks. Aljo, you can't take this guy down. He hasn't been doing any grappling for 6 weeks. O'Malley said he had a rib injury. I think he injured his ribs a while ago going into like the Pedro Munoz fight as well. I believe he injured his ribs going into that. But Tim Welch said, we haven't done any grappling, no MMA sparring for the last 6 weeks. Aljamain Sterling's been in the gym, training with the Bashrat brothers, training with Merab Dvalishvili, taking down these monsters, and he can't take O'Malley down. What the fuck, bro? This doesn't make any sense. Again, I knew it was possible that O'Malley could go out there and knock Aljo's lights out if he landed the right hand. I talked about the right hand in my prediction video. That's a nasty weapon, and he's deadly accurate with it too. I just thought that if Aljo were to get his hands around O'Malley, this is not Petr Yan. You know, this is not Henry Cejudo. These aren't short, twitchy guys that can explode out of those bad positions. This is a long, wiry, frail, skinny boy O'Malley. Take this motherfucker down. And again, I'm not a big fan of O'Malley. I didn't want him to win this fight. That's not why I picked Aljo. I thought that Aljo would the better chance to win. The classic grappler-striker matchup where the best grappler on the planet is going to take out the striker that has the long, rangy, wiry physique with the very frail body for you to wrap your limbs around. And that's a perfect guy to take out. That's a perfect guy to drag to the ground that hasn't done any grappling for 6 weeks. Beautiful distance control from O'Malley. He put the fear of God in the heart of Aljamain Sterling. Aljo was really, really defensively sound early, tentative early, but a little too tentative. And I just felt like he rushed it in the clinch. I felt like he really did rush it a little bit in the clinch when he had the single leg of O'Malley. O'Malley stuffed the takedown beautifully. You have to give him that credit. Aljamain Sterling is the superior wrestler. But you could have slowed it down a little bit. Could have tied him up. Could have got your hands on the body. Could have slowed it down. Let's chill out a little bit. But Aljo was gunning for that single leg. He felt like, oh, I already wasted a whole first round. Let's get this train going. He couldn't get it. He got right back on O'Malley. Chucked a right hand at him to try to close the distance. And I just felt like that was the lapse of judgment. Chucking a right hand at Sean O'Malley. Not sticking behind a jab. Not sticking behind leg kicks and staying safe. That was his demise. It is what it is, dude. I just thought that Aljamain Sterling would be able to impose his will. And he fucked around for 4.5 minutes. Put the pressure on this man. Give yourself a chance. You were never going to do well on the feet. And he won the first round. He won the first round. He edged out O'Malley just on points. Pit-patting around with leg kicks. But it was only a matter of time before this guy got KO'd on the feet. And I was saying to my chat on my live stream, like, what is he doing throwing a right hand? Why are you throwing a right hand on O'Malley? Close the distance with a jab. Close the distance with a couple of kicks. You have no business trying to chuck a right hand out there, dude. I'm just coping, guys. I'm honestly just coping. This absolutely sucks. I did not want O'Malley as champion. I was getting to be a fan of Aljo, and it sucks to say this, but he's just going to be viewed as a joke. People are going to forget about Aljamain Sterling's title reign. A big part of that title reign was definitely a little bit fluky and lucky at times. TJ Dillashaw getting hurt, the Petr Yan knee. But other than that, Aljamain Sterling has created an incredible legacy at bantamweight. And it's just going to be scoffed over now because Aljamain Sterling just got KO'd in the second round by Sean O'Malley. And because people have a hard time taking Sean O'Malley serious, including myself, and people just don't really fuck with him past the age of 16, right? I don't know, man. I'm not really over the moon, okay? I wanted Aljamain Sterling to get this one done, and he just couldn't for the life of him get any fucking takedown. And he was saying, building up to this fight, he's not going to commit to a single leg. He's not going to commit to double legs. He's going for a body lock. I'm going to try to wrap my hands around that frail body and break this guy's spine. And he wasn't able to do it, and he didn't even try to slow things down up against the fence. And I just felt like he looked like shit out there, man. I knew that O'Malley had a chance to knock Aljo out. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense in regards to O'Malley winning and knocking Aljo out. I just would have thought that Aljamain Sterling would have had a better chance of getting the takedown once he gets his hands on O'Malley. This is a guy that took down Henry Cejudo. This is a guy that took down Petr Yan. And you can't take down this frail, skinny boy O'Malley? What's the deal? You've been training for, what, like 8.5 weeks for this? You can't get him down? Not once? When you have this man up against the fence, nowhere to go, he just skirts out of the way. You're holding on to a single leg for dear life. You can't try to get the body. Can't try to go for a trip. Can't try to slow things down. I also noticed that Aljamain Sterling's physique, when he walked into the cage, was a little bit watery too. I know that some of you guys noticed that as well. I was talking about it on my stream. I was saying there's something up with Aljo. He looks watery. He looks bloated. He doesn't look lean and mean. He doesn't look shredded as he normally would. Maybe there was something going on with his strength. Maybe it is the fact that he's a little bit overtrained. He doesn't have the same strength as I said. But when O'Malley walked out, I was also saying, dude, I'm smelling an OMalley KO. All right, I'm smelling an OMalley KO. It just seems like the time is right. This dude looks insanely confident, and it was in the air. Again, I'm not going to bullshit. Like, it's hard to take this guy serious. It is. I respect his skills. Like, he's putting together a really good resume now. Beating Petr Yan, knocking out the second greatest bantamweight of all time, Aljamain Sterling. That's amazing, dude. This guy's cementing his legacy big time. He's entertaining in the cage. I'll never take that away from him. I'm just not rooting for the guy. I don't think he's cool. Fucking Sean Soy Boy Frail Boy O'Malley. I don't know. Again, great striking. Beautiful performance. Amazing technique. He's in his prime. I think he's 28 years old, right? So the guy's just going to get even better. And he's going to be a champion for quite a bit because I think the UFC is going to probably keep Merab Dvalishvili away from him, right? They're not going to want Merab anywhere near this guy because if he doesn't KO Merab, and, Merab's not Aljo. Merab's not going to be scared to close the distance like Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling still has like a bit of a regular brain going on. Merab Dvalishvili's from the mountains. Merab Dvalishvili he doesn't think like that. He doesn't really think that much. He's going to just go straight forward on OMalley and spam 1,000 takedowns, and OMalley has to knock him out early, otherwise Merab's going to get going. And when the Merab train gets going, there ain't no getting away from the tracks, dude. He keeps you on those tracks, and he's never going to finish you. He's never going to hurt you, but you're getting drowned. And I think that if OMalley just avoids Merab, he's going to be a champ for a long time. And that's why he must have been saying, life or death, life or death. I can't let him get a hold of me. I cannot let him get his hands on me. And you know what? That wasn't even the fucking case because Aljo got his hands on OMalley and he still couldn't do shit about it. This is just one of those hard pills to swallow if you're an Aljamain Sterling fan. You just saw Aljo lose the worst possible way. He couldn't get a damn takedown to save his life. What the fuck, bro? What the hell? If Aljo got OMalley down in the first round and beat him up a little bit for a minute, and then they got up, and the same thing happened in the second round. Aljo gets a takedown stuff, and OMalley knocks him out. I'm not going to be as upset. I'm just, like, the guy had OMalley on the fence, and he couldn't get that shit. I'm still coping big time, guys. I'm coping. Yeah, as an Aljamain Sterling fan, I'm just not that happy about it, bro. Again, a whole lot didn't really happen in this fight. I just thought that Aljo was going to be able to get the takedown, and he didn't get the takedown, and ultimately, you're fucked if you don't get the takedown against the early-going Sean OMalley when he's fast and twitchy and he's ready to go. But OMalley did a really good job at slowing Aljo down, at putting fear into his heart, and that's something that only a super high-level striker can do. So I do really appreciate the striking of Sean OMalley. I appreciate the skill. I'm just not a fan of the guy. So I don't have to be happy. I don't have to be rooting for him. This is fighting, okay? I'm allowed to root for whoever the fuck I want. And when I want someone else to win and they get their ass kicked and they get destroyed and brutally KO'd, I don't have to be happy about that, especially when one of them is my favorite fighter, or one of my favorite fighters. My favorite fighter is Volkanovski. Thank God I didn't have to see Volkanovski get slept. That would have been a little bit too much to handle. You may have not seen me for the rest of the time if that happened, but we'll see, man. I'm back. Not I'm back. Dude, I honestly thought of maybe singing the Sean OMalley theme song when he was going to win. Actually, no, what the fuck am I saying? I was saying earlier on tonight, if OMalley were to get the win, I would just start singing the Sean OMalley theme song and acting like it's all good. Sugar Sean, man, ain't no Joe came in with the same gang. I came in with the same ring. I thought about singing that if OMalley were to get the job done, to cope with it, to kind of just force myself into believing that I'm happy when I'm really not. But I was too upset. And my first reaction was just, oh, holy shit, when I didn't really want to accept what had really happened. And then I actually started to just accept it, and I was like, fuck this, bro, fuck this. Straight up. Like, this sucks. 100%, bro. 100%. If you don't like me, if you don't like my channel, then this is some real shit right here, bro. And you're probably going to like this. This fucking sucks, man. Will I get over it in a couple days? Sure. But to see one of my favorite fighters get slept like that, to see Sean OMalley parading around with a belt when it's looked like he's done everything but get out there and fucking prove that he's the man. Like, sure, he beat Petr Yan. It was just one of those things where, oh, it's a 3-rounder. Petr Yan, 3-rounder, would have beat him in the 4th, would have took him out in the 5th. But OMalley gets it done. Just barely edges it out against Petr Yan. And then goes into an even tougher matchup against Aljamain Sterling. And an even worse nightmare matchup. And he takes him out too. What the fuck is going on with these outcomes this year, bro? And if anyone's going to say Lucas Tracy curse, out of the 21 main events, all right, that I predicted this year, I've gotten 15 right. 15 out of 21. That's not that bad. It's just that, bro, these guys are getting so much better faster. These young guys are getting really, really good in like a matter of no time. And this is the difference. Sean OMalley improved so much night and day from the Petr Yan fight until now. Yes, you also have to factor in the fact that Aljo's not dangerous on the feet, and OMalley literally doesn't have to give a fuck about what's coming in his direction on the feet. Not at all. Okay, Aljo's got these little pillow hands. I'm not afraid to admit that. Literally, the guy couldn't hurt a fly out there on the feet. But Aljo gets his hands wrapped around him. It should be over. I would think maybe, okay, Aljo couldn't even get his hands on him. I would be here saying, bro, that's a beautiful performance from OMalley. Aljo literally couldn't even get his hands on him. It wasn't even that. Aljo got his hands on him and he couldn't do a damn thing about it. Couldn't even take him down. Had him right up there against the fence. And he still couldn't get him. Sean O'Malley's takedown defense is insanely good. And that's from a guy that didn't even grapple for the past 6 weeks. Holy shit. Just imagine if this guy's rib doesn't get broken for the 5th time, right? His rib has been broken before. I've already talked about that. His rib has been broken in the past against Pedro Munoz, but there was no grappling exchanges. I guess his rib was fine against Petr Yan. Again, Petr Yan's different. Possesses a lot of power. You have to worry about that as well, aside from the takedown. And he can close the distance and stay safe because he's got the good boxing head movement. But Sean O'Malley's takedown defense has improved massively. He's gotten so much better. Aljamain Sterling is starting to slow down a little bit. And I also told you guys in the beginning of this video, I noticed that the physique of Aljamain Sterling was looking a little off. And I'm not coping here. Look, I'm not saying, oh, if he showed up shredded, it would have been different. Dude, if he showed up shredded and a little bit stronger, it wouldn't have been that different because he wouldn't have fucking shot a takedown until, 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the first round anyway. And he would have been fighting scared anyway. And he would have went for that single leg anyway instead of going for the body lock. It's just that he looked a little watery. He looked a little bloated. He didn't look as lean and mean and in charge, as I said. And OMalley looked good as he walked out, bro. I was saying this on the stream. I could smell a fucking OMalley KO coming from a mile away. You looked confident, was taking over the building. That's when OMalley takes over on the night of the fight, which is what matters. And he gets it done. Beating Petr Yan and beating Aljamain Sterling back-to-back. I will pick Sean O'Malley to beat literally everyone in that division. Even, we'll see about Umar. Umar's dangerous on the feet, so you have to worry about actual power coming in your direction. But other than that, I think O'Malley's going to beat Sandhagen. Merab's the one guy that could possibly take O'Malley out, but Merab is also not dangerous on the feet, so O'Malley literally doesn't have to worry about any danger from Merab. As long as he doesn't allow Merab to make it out of the first round, he'll be good. You know what I mean? Merab the Velashvili, if he gets to the second round, it's pretty much a wrap. He'll just run through O'Malley with cardio and pace. That's the only thing that he really brings. It's the cardio. It's unstoppable. But O'Malley could knock Merab out. Like, Merab's been, fucked up. He's been dropped before. He's been hurt before. And that chin is sitting right there on the silver platter. I rewatched round 1 of Merab and Petr Yan. He's there to be hit all day. It's just Petr Yan's a very slow starter. And O'Malley's a long, rangy guy, powerful, and he can crack that chin. So I personally would love to see Merab fight O'Malley. I'm going to just be real. It's not a super one-sided fight. Like, O'Malley could KO this man, Merab the Velashvili, in the first round. If there's anyone that could do it, it's O'Malley. If there's anyone that's going to get a first-round finish over anyone in the bantamweight division, it's Sean O'Malley. So, yeah, and Aljamain Sterling, what's next for him? He says that he needs to go back and reassess the situation, but honestly, I just think he should move up to 45, try something new. You're not going to beat O'Malley. That was a sorry performance. You literally got your hands on him in the start of the second round when you were still relatively fresh after winning the first round. And you couldn't do a fucking thing about it. And you overextended with the right hand. Like, sure, never say never, but what's Aljo going to do? Go back and start fighting these up-and-coming killers in the bantamweight division when there's already 3 guys that are waiting for their title shot? Merab, Corey Sandhagen, and Chito Vera? No. The UFC's just not going to give him a shot anytime soon. He's going to need to get like 2 or 3 fucking wins, even though he was a guy that had been reigning for at least 2 years or something like that. I think he should go up, try his luck there, rest up, recover the chin. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. Aljo's time is done. Again, on the verge of finally having some real respect, getting a finish after these split decisions over these nightmare matchups, having himself a tailor-made opponent, right, that he should have gone out there and beat, on paper at least Anthony Smith's little sheet of paper, where it seemed to have made sense. If he would have got the win, he would have been heavily respected. He would have had a lot of opportunities in the future, new sponsorships, new endorsements, highlight reel, submission, or beating O'Malley up, being the guy to take him out when there's a bunch of people like me that don't really like O'Malley that much. And of course, he would have had a chance to fight Volkanovski, and his career would have been different. But now, no more pay-per-view points for Aljo. Yeah, it's one of those ones. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to be doing a full card recap as well, so stay tuned for that. That will be out tomorrow or on the same day that this is uploaded, but it's currently 2:38 a.m. in the morning. So let me get this out. Let me go to bed, and I'll do another video tomorrow. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow.